Welcome to another exciting edition to Grove City Hockey Presents
Hockey in our neck of the woods, and you, sir, were a very talked about person towards the end.
I'm a fifth-year senior, kind of. Well, it's my sixth year of college. Incredible.
Hey guys, we want to say thank you to our sponsor, Cut Shield, for bringing you this episode. Make sure you check them out on the link below and use the promo code for 25% off your order. Used by all 32 NHL teams and players, Cut Shield is the premier protective player clothing designed by players for players. Their innovative cut-resistant clothing has prevented serious injury to numerous players, including over 30 NHL players. Cut Shield gives you the peace of mind to go out and play without worrying about injury. Use our promo code Grove City Hockey, all lowercase and no space, for an additional 25% off your order today. Welcome to GCH Podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock, and with me is a very special guest. I've got Johnny Adamic from Brrrn. How would I describe Brrrn other than it's a exercise type of equipment, but it's specifically engineered for those in the colder sports, specifically skating, and ice skating, roller skating, hockey, skiing also is an aspect of that as well. And so tell us a little bit about Brrrn, how you guys came up with the product, and then let's go from there.
Ben, it's a pleasure to be here, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
The Grove City podcast, I love it. First things first, I mean, I always love to start with kind of where we are currently and where we've been, and then where we're going. So I'm in the lovely state of Minnesota now, as I call it. I get to say that being originally from Wisconsin, you know, I get to make fun of my Minnesota people, but I really love Minnesota. I live in Minneapolis here now with my wife and our two kids.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm the co-founder. There's two of us of Brrrn. My business partner, Jimmy T. Martin, he is in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And Jimmy and I launched this beautiful brand called Brrrn in the great city of New York City in 2018.
Yeah.
So so we can kind of start there if
For sure. Let's do that.
And I think it'd be great to tell the listeners we met last year because it's about people and community, right?
Absolutely.
So you and I met, it was Kismet at the high school hockey tournament. Actually, no, not even the high school. It was like the Minnesota hockey tournament.
Let's play. It's Let's Play Hockey Expo is where you had a booth set up, and we were just Sean and I were just making the rounds. We stopped at your booth. We hit it off pretty well, and I've been trying to get you on basically ever since then.
Love it.
You were a really busy guy, and we were finally been able to make it happen. Here in the latter part of 2023, because it was in March, I think it was, of 2023.
Yeah, it was a snowy day. It was snowy 2023. I had to borrow my in-laws. They drive a Volkswagen Atlas, kind of like that big, SUV Volkswagen thing, in St. Paul, where the Wild play, mind you. And I slid out in St. Paul, and I'm a great driver. I think I'm a good driver. I totally slid out.
Well, I would hope so. You're being from Wisconsin,
right? Made it home. Just banged up a tire. It's fine. The car's okay. But a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to re-meet you, to be on the show. But Brrrn is now the leading slide board maker, I would say, in the world. We make the world's most premier slide board experience.
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with a slide board, it is a piece of fitness equipment. It's 6 feet long, typically, to 10 feet long. It's got bumpers, and you slide laterally, west to east, side to side, to work a whole host of muscles that are important to moving you forward, but important to skating or juking in soccer or football. Also great for if you're older, for helping to stabilize you for balance and whatnot. We started out, though, originally, Jimmy and I, as Brrrn, the world's first cool temperature fitness concept. So what the heck does that mean? It means we crazy guys created a brick and mortar fitness concept where we exercised people in a giant beer fridge set to 50 degrees and did it in no other than the great Big Apple, the city of New York, on 20th and 6th in Flatiron, Chelsea, about a 3,000 square foot space, kind of a rustic chic après ski, Colorado vibe. We had a communal infrared sauna that the New York Times still uses our sauna photo without giving us credit. Hey, New York Times, just give Brrrn credit for that sauna photo, please.
Right.
And then one of the exercises we did was on slide boards. But what's interesting is, you know, life is about going for it. And so my background is in public health, and my business partner I met in a New York City boutique fitness training center. I was leaving public health. I did built environment theory and work under former Mayor Bloomberg. How streets are designed to make them, put in buffer zones for pedestrian walkways and bicyclists, and working with architects so that stairs are more prominent and beautiful, and draw them in so people use them to combat obesity and promote healthy living movement and whatnot. My business partner Jimmy, brilliant marketing branding guy, a creative juggernaut, if you will. Jimmy was, no joke, on Saturday Night Live's JV like writing and skit team. I guess he'd be like, it was this Johnny, but that's basically the gist of what it was. He was in a bunch of skits as an extra on the Bobby Moynihan, Bill Hader, Tina Fey days.
Love
And
Bobby Moynihan's riblets section.
Yes.
Oh, anybody can do your job.
Yeah.
I just love Bobby. Bobby's great.
Oh, I'm sure Jimmy has stories. I've heard many stories. Probably the funny story about Jimmy was he was Jason Sudeikis' butt double for an SNL short, and they filmed it all over the West Village. Just really funny. But yes, so Jimmy and I meet in like 2014, 2015. Jimmy was working through a life-changing moment, a journey I would say that he was on, where Jimmy was married at the time and lost his wife Lynn Marie to cancer. And so he went to, basically after she passed away, took some time for himself, and then came back into the city. And we'd met before, and ran into him like, hey man, where you been? And he's like, let's hit coffee. I'll let you kind of know what happened. So he let me know, and just a beautiful story about Lynn, and just how Brrrn was going to be the one thing that she was never going to be able to see. And so I was like, so tell me more about what this Brrrn concept is. And Jimmy basically had this idea about why we exercise people in hot, why we don't exercise people in cold. And so the idea came to him through a contact of his who was working out she was from Boston, and she was craving colder temperatures, and she was working out at one of the local gyms there, and she was just kind of singing praises of the cold and just disparaging the heat. And so one thing led to another, idea goes off, light bulb goes off in Jimmy's mind, and he's like, this is really interesting. And so we meet, and I'm going, well, with my background in public health, like, just give me a minute. Let me just kind of look at the research. And so I was up all night, and I just couldn't believe it. Just all the evidence basis, the overwhelming evidence basis that cool and cold is really good for you. You burn more calories in cold. Marathons are best at like 40 degrees. But it just kind of wasn't packaged together, and we've always been afraid of cold for a thousand reasons that I could get into. So we did it. Yeah. We did some trials in some beer fridges. We did some trials in some ice fridges. Got an architect, raised capital, quit our day jobs, and we went all in, and we launched Brrrn in 2018. And one of the exercises we happened to do was on slide boards. Mm-hmm. And so Jimmy was also a D1 wrestler, but I have a great hockey story, by the way, since this is and so whereas Jimmy was a D1 athlete, I am also a D1 athlete. And Ben, I'd put you on the spot and have you guess what sport it is, but you're not going to guess it. And it's because I was the mascot for the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Okay. It was Bucky the Badger. For you Michigan listeners, for you Pennsylvania listeners, it's not a beaver, it's a badger. Okay, for you Iowa people, and for you Minnesota people, it's a badger. There's 7 of us. There's so many darn events throughout the year. There's parties that Bucky gets hired to go to. There's all the sporting events. So you do the football games and everything. I was the backup hockey Bucky.
Oh, that's awesome.
we had Nate who could skate. He played hockey in high school, beautiful on the ice. Like Nate was just gorgeous and could skate like Michelle Kwan figure skates, could skate like Apollo Ohno, like skating to win a gold medal. Me as backup, I could get the job done. So I probably did half a dozen games, and to set like I'm to set the table. I follow the books. Like I now live in Minnesota. I follow the rules. I'm a rule follower. I mean to say, especially now that I'm in Minnesota, married to Minnesota. Minnesotans are rule followers. Not us in Wisconsin. It's 65 miles per hour. We're like 72, 73. You Chicago people are like 10 over constantly.
Oh, dude. Michigan's even worse. Our speed limit is 70, 75, and we're pushing 80 or 85, 90 majority of the time.
Oh, terrible. What's the rush? Like why, what's the rush? You're only going to get there faster.
No, we just don't like being in the car for very long. And the crazy thing about Michigan is that, the cutoff is right around like north or south of Grand Rapids, but you're literally 6 miles away from the nearest civilization, no matter which way you go.
Oh, that is class. I love hearing that because I sometimes can relate to that. Yeah. But so anyway, so I was rule follower and. Mm-hmm. I broke the rules. And so the rules are this is you have to get your skit approved before you do the skit. So big thing, you want to do a skit between the first and the second period or the second and third, get the crowd going. And so long story short is you have to get a skit approved. And so I thought it'd be brilliant to bring, I think I was a sophomore at the time, and I brought my college course books out and I'm like, okay, I'll put them on the ice and then I'll with the stick, I'll put them into the goal from the blue line, from the red line, from like I thought this would be brilliant. Like, can Bucky do it? So I have the books. First period ends, like I'm gonna do it. So I go out there, have like literally my books, like whatever courses I was taking at the time, I don't remember. Dump them out. Unbeknownst to me, and I'm sure many of the viewers know this, I didn't. Maybe some of the viewers don't know this. Is that on freshly zambonied ice, Ben? There's just a little sliver of water. It hasn't froze yet. the cotton and that paper, the cotton books aren't made out of cotton. What I'm trying to say is the organic compound and of the books froze instantly to the ice. They had to delay the game.
Oh no!
They had to rip the books apart. The cover was still on there. They had to get an expert to come out to take them. This is like before Facebook. This is before Instagram. Thank God. And I got a very mean scolding by as I deservedly deserved by the athletic director overseeing what we called the Spirit Squad at the time.
Right.
And I learned you can't do that ever again.
Well, it's funny that you should mention that because here's a clip of it. No, I'm just kidding.
Would it be amazing? Oh my god!
That would be if I could find it, I'll put it up. But that'd be great.
Oh, that would be amazing. I think it's one of the I think they still tell you want to be like the dumbest Bucky story. This hockey skater guy. But anyways, yeah. So back to slide board training. So Manhattan, we had 23,000 people come to Brrrn, and it was awesome. We had professional athletes. We had famous people. We've had everyone from Ryan Seacrest to to Jesse Palmer, who hosts The Bachelor right now. He lives in Flatiron, Chelsea.
So he actually is doing a holiday cooking challenge that my fiance just absolutely loves watching.
Oh, amazing! Yeah,
I feel like it's probably a few years old because she just likes to watch reruns of that stuff.
That's okay. Yeah,
and I'm going, haven't you seen this already? And she's like, yes, but I'm watching it again. And it's so because she's a TV on type of person when she goes to bed, and so she's got to have something on.
Yeah.
And if heaven forbid I turn it off at night after she's already asleep, because then she's like, then she gets a little mad. But
she's like,
I'm just like,
oh.
you're already asleep. What do you need it for? And she's just like, it just helps with my mind. And I'm like, all right, I'll leave it
She's like,
alone.
Jesse was about to do macaroons. Like they're making
Yeah.
the almond batter, like it wasn't done yet. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. The yeah, and so we it was really cool to talk to all these people and to present just a really communal, accepting fitness concept that was, just new and innovative. We people from all over the world come and film us and want to hear our story. And then this little thing called the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
And so we, New York City, that was that was one of the epicenters of it. So I think people forget that like 30,000 people died in a matter of like months in Manhattan, like one of which, this person did that. One of our we have investors, and one of our Brrrn investors was very sick, and he almost died. He was on the ventilator, the whole thing. And I like my spider sense went off because I was like, oh man, I haven't heard from his first name is Jack in a while, and finally, reached out and finally heard from him, and he's like, yeah, I almost died from COVID. So anyway, that was the ejection button for us to move to Minneapolis, and knowing that Jimmy was, local, being from the East Coast in Pennsylvania. He's like 2 hours from New York City, and I'm like, oh, he's got it. Like I have a family, and like at that point it was like family first, and we just kind of knew what was happening. And so, but we knew what we needed to do. We knew for as much as people loved exercising in cooler temperatures, in 50 degrees, they also love this board. And so we hit go, and just really quickly, we knew that there was a dearth of slide boards in the marketplace. Like they're just not great. Like I mean, to be very candid, they're terribly made. They're very plasticky, cheap, poor, and they slide when you slide. And so the boards we used were better quality, a polymer resin, like recycled wood. I joke I'm the nephew of an Italian cabinet maker, so a little bit of our artistry, making them a little bit chicer, a nice handle, portability. And so we did that, and we hit go, and we haven't looked back. So it's been really, really exciting. And now it's 2023, and we're selling boards like hotcakes here in the US, and we're looking at a lot of interesting opportunities for global expansion. And also just kind of the next play is outfitting boards in gyms and boutique studios across the states. So yeah, I'll pause there.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing, because and a lot of people don't know that cold weather exercise, cold is actually much better for your joints, your muscles. It helps keep the inflammation down. You can push yourself a little bit harder. When I was going through my back issues, before I had my back surgery in 2015, I was going to see a chiropractor, and I'd never seen one before. And he always stressed, Dr. Bruchevine. I love the guy, hands down. Shout out to Dr. K. He told me that, just think of it as your arteries are, like you burst an artery vessel, or like, in your back. And so when you add heat, what are you drawing to that? You're increasing the flow of blood. So when you add cold water, you're decreasing that, or coldness, a cold source. You're decreasing that inflammation, which is excess blood flow. You're not killing anything. You're just slowing it down, so that way everything has a chance to kind of grasp and hold on to each other, to allow the blood to go back and flow naturally instead of over flooding it. And it really helps out in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, well said, and shout out to chiropractors. I love me a chiropractor. So it's we all need to be adjusted, But and so to kind of parlay that into what we're doing, and even specifically with hockey, was we knew this was, slide boards are typically associated with hockey. At the Minnesota, hockey outfits that we've been to, it's everyone I think has a wonderful story about how, so and so they know, or their dad or their grandpa made them an awesome, slide board.
Mhm.
But what's interesting is that they made them a slide board. That was, 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago, and no one's
Yep.
using a board anymore. And so
Right.
that's still kind of like the aha moment where, like, I think everything needs PR, everything needs marketing. We're all trying to sell something essentially. And we have just, what we did with Cold was give it its, earned trust and attention, is we've done that now with slide boards. And starting with the bedrock is the hockey community. And we'll talk about that in a hot second. But, expanding this outward to everybody is, it's like, I'm aghast as to how applicable slide boards, specifically what's called lateral training, is to everybody. Like, everybody needs to be training on what's called the frontal plane. It's so good for your lower back, your knees. Like, some fun facts are about this year, there's going to be about 1 million knee replacement surgeries. There's going to be about 500,000 hip replacement surgeries in, like, the next 2 or 3 years. They forecast that to double. And I don't know about you, but I know people that have had knee and hip surgeries. My mother-in-law, both of my parents have had a knee and a hip replaced. It's terrible. Like, it's like you go under, it's the surgery, the PT, and like I tell them, is like, it sucks, and like sometimes it's there's nothing you can do, but I think there is a lot you can do if you start to take care of your body now.
Yep.
In your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and so we call it prehab. And so this is prehabic movement. It's low impact. And what it does is it brings into the foray, it makes a whole subset of muscles called your lateral subsystems now the Broadway stars. And typically they're the supporting cast when you move forward.
Yep.
Walking, biking, running, rowing, it's all forwards and backwards movement in what's called the sagittal plane. Go to any gym, it's all the cardio equipment. Literally, it's not 99%, it's 100% of the cardio equipment is forwards and backwards. Even the stair climber. And so it's chronic overuse in that plane, and it wears and tears your joints and the ligaments connected to them. It's unbalanced. So as soon as you bring in frontal plane training on a slide board, brings those muscles in to become the agonist muscles, is what it's called. And then it symbiotically starts to help support and balance out and make it a really beautiful, full repertoire of exercises that you're doing on your body. And so that's what we're seeing now. And so then to zone in on all the sports, on the hockey and the soccer and the football, the pickleball, the lacrosse, the tennis, is we're seeing it now. We're starting to pick up steam. And like, another interesting factoid is just injury prevention. I think it's like 50% of high schools injuries are related to the knee, like half, like boom, they're tearing their ACL, their MCL,
their PCL, all of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And we know that prehabic lateral training, it's not even can help prevent that. But it's to even go a little bit deeper. It's not even like the muscles per se. It's what's happening in your brain. So your brain is actually sending more signals and pathways on those recruiting pathways. And so it's more circuitry that's supporting, those joints in that place, and the potential movement patterns that they're going to encounter, that youth athlete is going to encounter in play, in movement. So
yeah,
it's right. And so this is kind of the public health side of me, is just geeking out. I'm screaming from a mountain going, why is not everyone slide board training?
Well, but that's the thing, though, is like, as you were talking about, like, everything is forward and backwards based training. If you incorporate those lateral movement training sessions, you're gonna not only improve your overall health, but you're gonna strengthen up those core muscles that are needed to sustain the rigors from going forwards and backwards all of the time.
Yep, exactly. 100%. It's preventative. Just exactly on a preventative side of injury. Yeah, And then on the positive side, on what it's going to do with, propulsion and ballistic movement patterns and skate stride. I have so many parents email me, people we know locally, anecdotally, who have our burn board, and they're like, Johnny, like in 3 months, it was night and day difference. My son is skating like 40% fast. Like you can just see them skating 40% faster, 50%, 100% faster. Um, and I equate it to, I say thank you. It's always nice to get a compliment, like doing good in this world. But then I say, if you have a child that takes piano lessons, are they going to practice the piano at home? Do you buy that child a piano? Yeah, you buy a piano off of Facebook Marketplace. It's free, but you're gonna have to pay the movers $300 to move it.
Right.
But that was a terrible piano joke. The But with hockey, it's no different. It's all the parents are competing with ice time, but also we literally have a tool that your child can train 2 days a week, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whole host of things they can do on the board to help them be better skaters.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where I don't know if too many parents or even the athletes realize is that dry land training is just as important as on ice training or on the floor skating training, and all of that stuff, because you're giving your muscles a chance to create muscle memory. And then once you have that muscle memory, then once you get going, you're off to the races, and you'll never have to worry about it again.
Yeah. 100%. We have coaches now that are ordering these boards for their, for their teams. We have skating coaches. We have a guy, Ryan Dupraw. He's in North Carolina. He literally tore down a wall in his basement, and I think he's like 10 burn boards in there that he has the kids come in, and he does like skating academy with them on our burn board, on our burn boards. And it's really just super exciting to see like this happening with something that birthed out of two guys who were friends in New York City, who've both kind of been through some stuff and definitely have been through a pandemic and just trying to make, lemonade out of lemons. And we believe that the slide board opportunity is bigger than what we could have done with cold.
Oh, absolutely. And then not only that, but majority of us are in a cold weather state. So take your board outside, jump into a pair of shorts, t-shirt, skate for 25 minutes, and then get yourself back inside and see the difference in 3 months. I kid you not. It'll be a vast improvement as to, if you stick with it, you'll be impressed with yourself. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. We we had a former NHLer come to our studio at Brrrn, Justin Selman. He was a Wolverine. So Justin had a great college career. He played for the last team, I believe, was the New Jersey Devils. Mm-hmm. Justin ended up retiring early. I think he had a career. He was endured a lot of concussions, unfortunately. Incredible player, but obviously this is the way the sport goes. But he has put this passion into an incredible opportunity now, and he's got Top Line Training Center in New Jersey, out in Long Island, and so we have outfitted Justin with our burn boards, and he's also now on our. We also filmed him teaching classes on our. We've got free content on YouTube with Justin teaching classes. We also have on our platform Haley Skarupa. Haley played for the USA Women's Gold Medal 2018 Olympic team. So Haley's on our channel as well, teaching classes. Just really, really exciting. We have also done some great stuff with the Professional Women's Hockey League. We've sent them a ton of boards, huge advocates for professional women playing hockey. And we're just here to help everybody skate better. And most notably is we have Apollo Ohno, the decorated Olympic athlete. Apollo is actually the most decorated U.S.
Winter.
athlete.
Yeah, U.S. winter athlete. Yep.
Winter athlete. And it's a combination of like just all the medals he's won outside as well as inside of the Olympics, like world events and that kind of stuff. He's won 6 medals. I think he's won, a handful of gold medals. But yeah, Paulo's an investor and partner in Brrrn. He's incredible. He's even more powerful off the ice. Went to Wharton after his Olympic career, got his MBA. Wicked smart. And we're just so honored to be in Apollo's circle of having him be part of the Brrrn brand.
Yeah, that's amazing, because not every day that you can say that you have, several, Olympic gold medalists, representing your product, and not only that, but then believing in your product, because it is a vital piece of equipment that, not only for them, but they want everybody else to get in on it too, because they feel that much about it, which is incredible. Which goes to show how, your guys' idea, you're taking it from one aspect and then you're trying to elevate it, and they're like, no, man, we want to elevate it with you.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you. It's wonderful to hear that. Yeah. It's like it's been a lot of hard work. It's it's ups and downs. Some days are easier than others, but when you start to get the wins, it's awesome. Like most recently, we're going to be working with the Kraken, the Seattle Youth Kraken league. We're doing some interesting stuff with them to support them. They're dealing with limited ice time out in Seattle, we know, and so it's crazy. Like there's just not enough ice. Yeah. So the board to the rescue to get these youth, lateral training and helping support them skate as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, and I actually think that it will also help out those in the inline hockey community as well, because the main aspect is pushing side to side. You're not really pushing forward, front to back, or you get a little bit of an angle, but the same concept. You're digging in, doing that side lateral movement, and for the inline crew out there, give it a shot. You won't be disappointed either.
Yeah. Oh my God. Totally.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Johnny, I think that's going to be it for this episode. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chat with us. And, I cannot wait to see you again. I don't know if I'll be able to make it out to the Let's Play Hockey Expo again this coming year. But if I do, I will definitely be stopping by to say hi.
Ben, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, Grove City Podcast. We love you guys. We love you. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. But yeah, so thanks a lot, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Sounds good. We'll be here.